When your cat licks you and then bites you, do you actually know what they're trying to say? Yes, it feels like a mixed signal, but underneath that bite there's a message most owners never stop to decode. It's one of the most emotionally loaded things your cat can do, and if you keep misreading it, which most owners do, you might be pushing them away at the exact moment they're trying to pull you closer. Let's start with what that lick really means. 1. Is your cat grooming you or sending a warning? Do you know what it actually means when your cat licks you? Most people assume it's just affection, a little kiss, something cute to film and forget about. But here's what's really going on. In the wild, cats practice something called allogrooming, which is the grooming of one cat by another, and they don't hand it out freely. A cat will groom a kitten, a sibling, a mate, or a companion they've spent years bonding with. They will not groom a cat they distrust or barely know. Grooming is a currency, and your cat is spending it on you. There's also a scent layer to this that almost no one talks about. When your cat licks you, they're depositing their scent onto your skin and pulling your scent onto their tongue. They're literally blending the two of you into a shared smell. In the cat world, that shared scent is how a group identifies its own. Your cat isn't just showing affection, they're marking you as family. So that rough little tongue is doing something profound. It's saying you belong to me and I belong to you. And here's the part that catches everyone off guard. Among cats, these grooming sessions almost always end with a bite, not an accident, not a mood swing, a deliberate punctuation mark that means something exact in their language. We'll get to what that bite is really saying in number 5, and once you hear it, every lick your cat has ever given you is going to look completely different. 2. Why your cat's body hits an invisible limit. Ever notice how the licking feels nice for a while, and then suddenly your cat flips like a switch? That's not your imagination, and it's not your cat being moody, it's biology. Cats have something behaviorists call petting-induced overstimulation. The skin along a cat's back, base of the tail and sides is packed with nerve endings that are extraordinarily sensitive to touch. Repeated contact, even contact they started themselves through licking, builds up a kind of sensory charge. What feels pleasant at first slowly crosses a threshold into too much, and when it tips over, the bite is the release valve. Here's the part that helps you the most. Your cat almost always warns you before it happens. The tail starts a slow, low flick. The ears swivel back or flatten slightly. The skin along their spine gives a quick ripple or twitch. The body goes a little tense. These are not subtle to a cat. They're shouting. We just don't speak the language. Once you learn to read those 3 or 4 signals, something amazing happens. You stop getting bitten. You pause a half second before the threshold. Give them space. And the trust between you actually deepens instead of fracturing. And hey, if this is already making those little bites make more sense, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more people who love their cats as much as you do. 3. What your kitten's first days taught her about you. Why would a creature that loves you sink their teeth into you at all? To answer that, you have to go back to the very beginning of your cat's life, long before they ever curled up on your lap. When kittens are born, their mother does 2 things almost constantly. She licks them, and she gently nips them. The licking cleans them and stimulates blood flow. The nipping moves them, corrects them, and keeps them close. To a kitten, lick and bite are not 2 opposite signals. They arrive together, from the one creature they trust most in the world. That pairing becomes the very first emotional language they ever learn. So when your adult cat licks you, and then closes their mouth around your hand, something deep is happening. They may be running the oldest program they have, the one their mother wrote into them in week 1. They are treating you the way they were treated when they felt safest and most cared for. Sit with that for a second. Your cat isn't confusing affection with aggression. In their mind, there's no contradiction at all. The lick and the bite are 2 halves of the same act of love, learned from their mother before their eyes were even fully open. And that's also why cats taken from their litter too early often get this balance wrong, which leads us straight into the next piece of the puzzle. 4. Are they playing, or do they actually mean it? So how do you know if that bite is affection, overload, or just your cat messing with you? Sometimes the answer is the simplest one of all. They're playing, and they genuinely don't realize how it lands on human skin. Here's the backstory. Kittens learn bite control from their littermates through a brutal but effective feedback loop. One kitten bites too hard, the other shrieks and quits the game, and playtime ends. Do that enough times and the lesson sinks in. Soft bites keep the fun going, hard bites end it. This is called bite inhibition. But cats who are separated from their litter too early, or raised without siblings, often never finish that training. so they reach adulthood with a playstyle that's a little rougher than they understand. When your cat licks you and then bites during play, the signs are usually easy to spot once you know them. The bite is quick and light. Their body stays loose. The eyes are soft, the ears stay forward, and there's no hissing or growling. That's not a cat at their limit. That's a cat inviting you into a game that makes total sense in their world, even if your hand disagrees. And here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They pull back and scold the cat. But to a cat who thinks they're playing, punishment just reads as confusing rejection. The fix isn't discipline, it's redirection. Keep a toy or a wand within reach, and let them sink their energy into that instead of your fingers. You're not shutting the game down, you're just handing them a better opponent. Now you understand the lick, the limit, the imprint, and the play. But none of it fully explains the one thing we opened with, so let's finally answer it. 5. What the bite is really saying about your bond. Remember what we opened with, back in topic 1? That grooming sessions between cats almost always end with a bite, and that the bite carries a very specific meaning. Here it is. In cat language, that closing bite means we're done now. Not rejection, not anger, not a mistake, closure. When two bonded cats groom each other, the bite is how one of them signals that the moment has reached its natural end. It's punctuation, not protest. The cat doing the biting isn't being rude or moody, they're being precise. They gave their trust, their grooming, their closeness, and the bite simply marks where that chapter ends. So when your cat licks you and then bites you, sit with what they're actually doing. They pulled you into a ritual they reserve for family. They marked you with their scent. They ran the oldest love language they know, the one their mother taught them. And then they told you, in the only vocabulary they have, that the moment was complete. That's the part no one expects. The bite was never the opposite of the lick. It was the other half of it. And here's the quiet truth underneath all of this. The cats who bite the hardest, the ones who seem the most unpredictable, are very often the ones whose signals have gone unread the longest. They're not difficult. They've just been misunderstood. Once you start listening, really listening, the biting tends to soften on its own, because your cat finally feels heard.